It was a pretty special one for me since it's been my last year for the college, and since I haven't had any 50s or 100 or beginning in previous 2 years I had, so I was determined to do well for my team when it was really needed. And knowing the 11 we had, we weren't the strongest 11 at the Battle of the Blues in 122nd Battle of the Blues. So as a senior players, I knew I had to take some extra responsibilities from the top order. Going back to that day, I remember we were discussing how we want to go on about that game. And we were a bit defensive, to be honest. Having Jeevan Mendes and a couple of other good players in the St. Thomas's side in that year, we were a bit of in a back foot, that's the reality. And with the strength we had, we won the toss and we wanted to put them to bat first, thinking that support from the SSC, first few hours, as they say, a norm, give us a bit of a support off the wicket to get a couple of wickets early and put the Thomians under pressure, but it got backfired instead. Jeevan, as always, has been scoring runs, and he got a 100 on his first inning, and they got pretty quick runs as well. I think they end up on first innings 312. Then they declared, then we will start batting. First innings. For us, my captain, my former captain, Dhanush Kapera and Kanish Kedri Surya was the openers. To be honest, they had a pretty good partnerships throughout the season. Even on that day, particularly, they were batting well. And of course, when I went into bat on that day, I think we were like 50 or 74-2. So, because of our batting strength, I had to bat at number 4. From my first year being the opener, second year being the number 3, third year I had to pick number 4, just to have that steadiness into our batting lineup. So when I went there, actually, to be honest, I wasn't thinking too much about it because I think pressure got into you as well. And people might say, oh, it's a fun cricket, it's a big match. You should be ready for it. But it's not for any fragile person to be in the middle, because you have support from the parents and loads of students and the high expectation, and from the on all boys, of course, as we want to do better against St. Thomas's every year. I had a really good partnership with Andrew Pereira, then vice captain. We took ourselves into a decent score. I think I remember, I still remember the shot I played for my half century in that first inning, because my target was like, in that particular moment, was like, this is my last year. I would like to at least to get a 50 to remember, because I haven't done much well in the past two encounters. So I still remember I was playing against Denham Williams, one of the left-arm slow bowlers. I played off mid-on to get that boundary, to get that first 50 at the big match, and it felt great. And from there onwards, I think I started to play my normal game, which kind of attacking way of playing. And then I got out around, I came to, I think, 90s. That's where I realized, okay, I'm actually looking to get 100. I never had 100 throughout my college seasons, and suddenly I felt like, oh, this could be the opportunity to get 100. And before the game, I was expected to get at least a half century, but now I'm really close to it. And with that pressure movement, there's an incident, quite a famous incident that happened as well. I think the bowler was Andra Bandarnaik, one of the quickest they had. And he bounced one off, and I hooked it, and it went off to fine leg. And I had my heart in my mouth for a second, because I saw the fielder adjusting himself to catch the ball while I was running. And to see he caught the ball, And I didn't see, I only saw that he caught the ball. So I was like, oh no. Then the next thing I knew, he was out of balance and he went off the boundary line and saw that he was throwing ball into the ground. So at that particular point, I was a bit confused and don't know what to do, because should I walk off or was it a six? I wasn't sure. So there was a bit of a pause in that game and the crowd was like signaling six and the field was saying it wasn't six and the umpire was saying it's not a six either, out. So I managed to get a 1 run off it, but the good thing is like I wasn't out. So pressure started kicking in because now you have like 5 runs to take for your maiden 100. And Jeevan was bowling that over and he had a very tactical fielding positions, having a 6-3 field. So basically it was quite a defensive field setting. And was it Jeevan? Oh, was it Denham Williams? I think it was Denham Williams. I'm not quite sure. I'm talking about like what, 19 years ago. So it was a short pitch ball outside the off stump, and you had only 3 fielders: mid off, covers, then the point. I saw the ball and I couldn't be happier because I could have hit that anywhere. And at ACC there's a big gap, so I could have hit anywhere in the park. But it didn't go well as planned, so I hit the ball. I cut the ball to straight up to the fielder at extra. That was it. So 95. Could I have got 100? Who knew? It was a bit of a sad moment because that particular moment I was like, I missed a rare opportunity. Like getting 100 at a big match, like one of the dreams you have as a kid watching the big matches. So a bit disappointing, but furthermore, we were then like 200 for 5 at that particular point. And then we had like a bad fumble as well, so we bowled out for 237. So for a short period of time, we bowled out basically. So we lost the control. So Thomians gained the control back again. So they had a bit of a lead. Of course, they knew like we were in a very vulnerable position, and they leveraged the opportunities they had, and they played the best cricket on first, I would say, 5-6 session. They were controlling the game. So end of the day, they end up like some 50 or something for lost of 1 wicket. So we were under pressure. So that night I still remember, we went to our camp at school and we were all a bit nervous. We knew that we were underdog and we are not in control. And we were thinking, what can we do better to survive? Because after second day, we were in a very vulnerable position and we knew if we don't do anything extra special, there's no way you can survive. They're controlling the game from the beginning. I still remember I was with my white kit after the game, the dirty kit, and sweaty kit. And I was sitting on my bunk bed, sitting and thinking, are we going to lose this one? Because we had a really bitter memory on my first inning. First game we played against St. Thomas in 1999. That was my first big match. And again, we won control. Shocking things happen, right? And of course, brilliant performance by Thomians again, one of the great batter. Meshad scored like one of the greatest innings, so they took a game away from us. We lost. So my memory is going back and forth, like, are we going to go through the same emotions? So that night, actually, I was up wearing my match kit until I would say like 1:32. Like I couldn't sleep. It's like, I don't know, like sometimes, like, there's a lot going on, like, you don't know what to do, like, what you need to do. Like, there are lot of things, because we are like, what, like 19-year-olds. We are not like fully grown-ups, right? So we played like the best cricket you can do. And at the same time, you're like trying to find somewhere to enjoy the game as well, because this is the game you love. So I think I slept with my white kit, because of course we have like other kits to wear next days. And I slept with my white kit. So next day, you have that like, I don't know, bit of a sick feeling, because the pressure mounting, and like this is the reality, this is the moment. So we went in there, and the weather has been, as always, it's been hot. It doesn't make any, it doesn't give any support as well, being nervous. So they were dominating the game from the first ball goes. And having mentioned that, I think Jeevan scored 100 in the first innings, and secondly, he managed to score 54 as well. So he was the star of the game, to be honest, for that particular moment. So as I remember, they batted for the first session, and they were in a very good position. And Jeevan playing his attacking shots, and Sakir Khanaka, Dilshans, and they knew their plan. They want to get runs as fast as they could and put us under pressure, which did. And in the end, they gave us a target 164 or 57 overs. You started thinking, looking at that score, being the third day, looking at it, because third day is like huge, like you get like 10,000 plus people, I think, at the SSC. So the roaring, the music, that's all you hear. Even in the middle, you can't speak to each other, you can't scream, you don't hear things. Then Kanishka and Danushka went into bat, and I think I was so nervous, like even my body was like about to give up, like muscles are aching, like. And also you get these physios for the big match as well, not through the season, but like there's all boys who's supporting for the back staff, supporting the boys, like just to keep their momentum going and the fitness side of it. So the first thing I did was, like, as soon as I got in there, like, this guy said, okay, let's do some stretchings on your legs and all that. Because I'm number 4 batter, right? So I can hear the crowd was going like, wide, like when the Thomians went in to the field. Then the openers, Danushka and Kanishka, went into bat. Then I still remember this moment. So I was on my massage bed. So this guy was like stretching me. Then suddenly I heard like a roar. So I knew that's a wicket, right? So I asked, like, what happened? Oh, Kanishka got out. Okay. So the next man in number 3. So I haven't put any pads or anything on my whites. Then Saldin. He's actually a good, talented player. So he's a number 3. And then he went in. So I'm still kind of like middle of stretching. Like I just even finished, like not even the middle, like, in the halfway, like. So the guy was trying to do it a bit faster, and not even 2 minutes, another row to see. Now we are 12 for 2. I haven't even put my pads on. Got up from the bed. I didn't know what was going in the middle. So someone's putting my right pad, and I'm putting my left pad. I'm just putting, trying to get myself ready. So I put my helmet on. I didn't have any time to put the gloves on. So I got the box, I got the tie, got everything, got the gloves, put the helmet, so walked out. For that moment, I didn't know what was going on. I saw the scoreboard. It's 12 for 2. So walked into the middle. The crowd is roaring. Not for me, for Thomians, because they're on top. So it's only like, another 52 overs to go. So I went in the middle. I looked at the scoreboard. Target is 262 for like 57, another 52 overs to go. So I need to survive 52 overs. Lahiru was bowling, left arm opening bowler. First one, I tried to, I remember that particular shot because I tried to go defensive. It took my like edge of the bat, one bounce to gully. So I like, okay. At that particular point, it's a do or die situation. You play your game or you'll be back on the pavilion. People might say like, this is like, players are like a normal game. For a 19-year-old, at that time I feel like it's now you think about it, it's too much like the pressure, the expectation level. And even a couple of my friends said like, when you're walking into bed that day, you're like, oh God, because they know me really well, my character, because I'm a person like, just attack the ball. And actually, to be honest, like first few overs, I was just playing my shots. And of course, SSA wicket is quite good as well. The ground is quite supportive as well. And because they were attacking, I had a lot more gaps to play my shots, which worked out really well. And not soon after, we lost our third wicket. Our captain, he was in quite a good form, which he got a 50 on his first innings as well. Then captain got out at 30, so we were now 30 for 3. So then Andrew came in, Andrew Pereira, wicket keeper, vice captain on the side, and we built up a partnership. We built up a good partnership, and we clicked. And even from the first innings, I think we got to know our game. We called well. We did the basics right. We rotated the strike. We did the basics right, to be honest. I think at that time we were talking to each other and we were trying to be calm as we can. So, long story short, so we were batting nicely. To be honest, if you ask me if I remember that 50, no, I wouldn't. Because it's not about getting 50 or 100, it's about surviving the game. So, it's hard to play that game of cricket to survive, because if you play to survive, the most chances you're going to lose the game. So we were still playing our game. And I still remember, I don't know if Thomians remember this particular incident. I have told this to our guys at the time. When I was in 80s, I was playing my shot, so they realized that we are taking the game away from them, right? And Praveen Pires, he's not a very regular fast bowler, but he has a very short run up, but he's quite a nippy and a very effective bowler, I would say. Because if that person has quite a long run up, you expect that to be a bit more faster. But he has like few steps and boom, right? So he bounced one, and I didn't expect that pace, so I hooked it, and the ball caught off the bat, right? Because it was so noisy around the ground, no one appealed, right? So I was like, okay, keeper didn't go up, ball didn't go up, so I guess, you know what, it could be my day. So that was that. Then I remember when I was in 90s, because I think one of my all-time favorite coaches like Hemal Mendes. And from 15, he has seen me how I play. And he actually, one of the guys who sponsored my game to be in that level, to be attacking mindset. And he's a coach who never tried to change my game. So with Nihal Kodithaku, our head coach, he was in the dressing room as well. And I was getting a message from the coaches, especially from Hemal as well, saying that don't think about the 100. You play the game how you like to play. If you get it, you get it. Play the game. And this particular moment, Jeevan Mendes was bowling. Again, they went back to that tactical fielding position, 6-3. I got a full toss this time on the outside the off stump. Didn't miss the opportunity. So went through the gap for a boundary, so where I got the 100. So it was such a relief moment in the sense, one, there's a less chance of losing the game. Two, I never expected to get 100. I never had 100 in school career, and it had to be my last inning for the college. So it's quite emotional as well. And the time that I got that 100 as well, I think I can't ask for a better time. Third day, packed stadium, you can't hear a thing. It's the roar. I still remember. I think I will never had that type of a memory in my cricketing career in my life. So, and the other part is like where all the boys 10 students just running into the ground and just giving high fives and just try to lift you, and it's a mix of all emotions. And of course, myself and Andrew had a really good partnership as well, and we had a really good understanding in the middle. And he got a really, really good half century as well. So we too managed to take the game away from them. And at one time I was thinking, actually in that second inning, there wasn't any way they could got me out because I was run myself out. Because I thought, okay, now let's go for a crack and see if we can win the game. So the run rate we had to go a bit faster than we had, but it's like, why not? We're in a better position now. We can't lose the game from here. So I think we end up getting 210, 215, and of course the game was stopped for bad light. So that 2 innings made who I am today at the moment, and I think that showed that taught me a lesson like how to action on pressure situation and to be calm as well, and. Yeah, it was a magical place to be in.
Royal versus St. Thomas, the 141st Battle of the Blues encounter on the 12th, 13th, and 14th of March from 9 a.m. onwards, live on Dialogue Television Channel 1, Dialogue My TV, and ThePapare.com.